So, good evening and namaskar to all the viewers. Wishing you a joyous and prosperous New Year. Happy Lohri, Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Bihu, and a lot of different names in different states of India. We are very happy and excited because a lot of educators have joined us, not only from New Delhi, from where we are based in, but from all over Pan India and across India borders as well. Welcome you all. My name is Amit Bajaj, and I am the founder and leader of Google Educator Group, GG Delhi West.
I'm Nidhi Bhagra, co-leader of GEG Delhi West. Welcome all.
Myself, Meena Bagga, co-leader GG Delhi West. Sorry, my camera is not working today. Very sorry, but welcome to all of you.
Google Educator Group, GG Delhi West is committed to learn, share, inspire, and empower all educators. Today, we have a very special session on the topic Gamification, Gameful Learning by Mr. Sagun. Welcome, sir. I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Sagun, an accomplished professional and the CEO of Digital and Beyond Private Limited, hailing from Himalayas of Nepal. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering qualification and is a Master of Leadership in Service Innovation Scholar at the University of Queensland. With a rich career dating back to 2006, he has played a pivotal role in managing, training, and supporting various private, international, and multinational businesses, schools, and colleges. As a Google for Education partner, he showcases his commitment to cutting edge technologies in education. He is a Google certified educator with additional certifications in Google Education Deployment and Research Associate.
One of Mr. Dhungana's notable achievements is leading the design and development of digital transformation for over 100 government-led community schools in Kathmandu Valley. In an impressive feat, he trained more than 11,000 educators within a span of 4 months, emphasizing the use of Google for Education tools. Currently engaging in a memorandum of understanding with the Kathmandu Metropolitan City Office Education Department, he serves as an EdTech consulting body, spearheading the digital transformation of community-led schools.
Furthermore, Mr. Sagun is passionate about leveraging Google Cloud services, crafting Google for Education deployment strategies, integrating AI in education, and designing digital frameworks for project management. His dedication extends to delivering professional development credit courses to universities in Nepal. Today, he has joined us to share his insights and expertise to enhance our understanding of gamification in education. So let us join us in welcoming Mr. Sagun to our online session. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, team GEG Delhi. Thank you.
I could see few of the hand raised, so quickly let me ask you to write your doubts if you have any in the chat box. We have a team will be reading and going through the same. We can have a smooth session once Mr. Sagun starts his session. He may use screen sharing or whatever way he likes. Your question and answer will be taken care of at the end of the session. So please stay connected, and the link for your certificates will be shared at the end of the session. So stage is all yours, Mr. Sagun, please. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Bazaz sir. Thank you, team GZ Delhi, for letting me introduce some or sharing some of my ideations with the profound educators of India and beyond. So I'm literally happy and would like to express my gratitude to all the teachers who made it today. We know it's an eventful day for all of us, and making sure we will share something that we can take to our classrooms, and we'll try my best to present it in the forum where we all can understand. Yes, definitely. I'm from Nepal, Kathmandu to be precise, and I would love to have more interaction in the session rather than what we called just a one-way traffic. So whatever your doubt is, you can just put it in the chat, or raise your hand, and we will have a doubt clearing session at the end of the session. So today's topic is gamification, gameful learning. This is something which we have practiced since 2017 actually, but it took us a bit of a while, a bit of case studies to bring it to this stage and make it as a presentable format. So let us begin. Uh, yes, I also represent GEZ Kathmandu. GEZ Kathmandu was formed in 2015, and we did have a huge earthquake that time. So it was like a memorable time for us, starting GEZ Kathmandu and the earthquake and stuff like that. And I do teach in classrooms. I teach in bachelor's level. Mostly I teach bachelor level students. So today's program, the structure would be like introduction to gamification, gamification element and mechanics, implementing gamification in subject, technology tools and adoption, and Q&A activity session. So this will be a series of topics that I'll be sharing with you, and would appreciate your input and your ideations as we move along with the gamification stuff. So first, to start with, I know this is not a very good idea to put all the text in a same presentation screen. It's kind of boring, I know, but please bear with me for a few slides. So game and gamification. Let's start the context with COVID. We all know what happened in COVID, and we know where our students and all the youth were there at the COVID time. Given that has COVID showed us that phase of research in COVID showed us that online education, or just bringing the class to Zoom or meeting, is not working anymore. So COVID was one of the hugest research that ever happened that time, right? And we all fail actually. My opinion, or my version, is we as a teacher, we all fail to actually entertain our kids and do the learning things. The learning failed for students. For the same, we are seeing much student with less interest in science and mathematics coming down to 2024. So middle school is seeing a lot of turmoil of not being able to understanding mathematics and science because of COVID, right? So what happened in COVID was, like, before COVID, most of the schools were teacher centric or blackboard centric. So in COVID, most of the school tried to brought the same model in education. So just we brought the blackboard in Meet, we brought the blackboard in Zoom, and we try to accumulate or invite all our students there and ask them questions like what we did in classroom setup. But it didn't work out. For the same reason, we are still seeing the impact of learning, learning loss, would I say? Yes. So learning loss in students in science and mathematics. So when we try to operate that Zoom and Meet calls, actually student found out a better way to learn through their online devices and through their friends. They did very nice things with 4Cs of 21st century learning, that is communication and collaborations. So they found out that when they are in mobile device or laptop device, if they open a new tab with Roblox or or Minecraft, stuff like that, the class would be more entertaining for them, and they could talk to their peers or their friends in schools, rather than listening to teacher who is trying to convince that their point is strong and that makes sense in learning for the student. So from that perspective, the paradigm of online education actually changed. And after COVID, I think we all are trying to find a better way to engage our student and give them better learning, you know. Now, better learning means a lot of things, as you all are very, very respected. All teachers are very, very profound, very, very experienced in what they do and what they teach. But we're going to touch a topic that might interest the student in their learning, actually. So similarly, in COVID, we found out that more than million students were in gaming platform, but not even more than 100 teachers were there. So being an educator and teacher, we actually failed to narrate their needs and go into the game and try to gamify the learning. So game is actually a structured form of play or activity which has a definite set of start and end goals. But gamification extracts the elements of game and tries to put it in the learning activities. Okay. Maybe that might be enhancing engagement, motivating the students, or increasing their participation in the topic. So game has a set of parameters, but gamification tries to extract the fun part or the engaging part or the motivating part from within the game and put it to the gamification paradigm. So if we look into the structure and purpose of game and gamification, in game we have a self-contained activity, right, with a defined structure and rules. There are rules, there is a structure, and there is an objective. But gamification is like it takes the only the elements in existing activity or system and tries to empower the motivation factor of the student. Similarly, the goals. So game where player aims to achieve a specific objective or win within a context of game. Gamification encourages participant to complete the task, engage with the content. Now, engaging with the content is, I think, what we all are seeing our student, right? We have extensive experience in how to teach the topic or the context, but maybe if we reflect on ourselves and sit down at the last bench of a class and try to understand what that particular teacher is trying to teach within 40 or 45 minutes every day, and to make sure that understand that that thing that they convey in classroom would help us do the homework at the end of the day, right? So now, looking into the context, so game is a standalone activity designed primarily for entertainment or education. Yes, gamification is applied to real world scenario. Now I would like to put emphasis on real world scenario to all the popular games that our students are finding engaging to play. Let's say maybe PUBG, Free Fire, Roblox, Minecraft, anything. It has that real world scenario that tries to connect with the content, right? And the involvement. So now game requires active participation and somewhat experience in playing along with the devices. But the gamification enhances engagement by adding game element to existing activity without necessarily creating a full immersive experience. I'm saying that the experience thing I would like to put forward as, why was TikTok so popular? why is Instagram so intuitive with the youths? It's like they have done a lot of research, and they have done a lot of work in making the application so much engaging that out of thousands of video playing platforms, only TikToks or Instagram are finding the place, or the reel, right? So, yeah, we know, yeah, but TikTok is banned in Nepal as well for last few months now. If we look into the design of TikTok, how it became so much of a popular application within short span of time, we can just see the design and the uh, you know uh, the experience of user. Like one thumb, from one thumb we could navigate all the menus of TikTok, sorry. And with one thumb we can actually upload the video, like the video, comment the video, share the video, and even scroll through the videos. So that experience, that HCI, human computer interaction component, added a lot of engagement in TikTok. That's one of the reason why it became so popular in short span of time. Similarly, now involvement, we know it has something to do with experience. Outcome, game has a clear defined outcome. We all know, we all play games, but gamification focuses on achieving objectives or goals. We'll come to this objective and goals in a bit. So, okay. So how can we connect gamification? It's like gamification was there with us for last so many years, right? But now it has changed. That the gamification component has changed. Now we can see fitness application, the smartwatch that we wear in our hand, is so much gamified that we are stuck to it, or we are so much engaged with the application. Like every time we look into our watch, whenever we walk maybe 1-2 kilometers or something like that, right? So we are now stick to application actually. Well, we know, we are grown up enough to know how much step we take in 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, how many minutes it takes for us to achieve that, goal of time or something. But we are attracted and we are attached with tying up something in our wrist and depending on it. And as well, we are downloading a lot of applications to show how it works. So fitness app is one of the very beautiful example of how gamification makes us engaging, right? Similarly, in education, well, we all are using lot of applications and lot of things, content, uh, to introduce within our classrooms. So educational platform offers a lot of gamification components, just like points, badges, and leaderboards that reward a student for achieving a certain goal or achieving certain objective, right? So this also helps to create a sense of achievement and progress. We all have felt it. Coursera, edX, and how they remind us every week that, yeah, you tried your best, we tried our best, but we both are not aligning or something like that, and pushing us hard to complete our courses, make their payments, and stuff like that, right? Okay, so next gamification around us would be shopping loyalty programs. So we are too much attached with it, just like Amazon Prime. You know, there was Amazon, there is Amazon Prime, there is reward, there are points which we can invest on our digital, uh, yeah, digital rewards, would I say, again investing it as a point. So all of this mechanism is so much connected with the component of games. We are addicted, right? Just like flying the kite. I remember when we used to fly kite and we used to have kite fight. So just to find that kite, we used to run more than 2 kilometers from our home, go there, collect the kite, bring it again, and tie it, arrange it again, and fly it again. So that game of flying kite has so much of adhesive components that we were really attracted towards flying kites, and we wanted that kites, even if, we lost the kite in 2 kilometers range or something like that. So shopping loyalty program, I think, is one of the best example for us to show how much gamified everything has become, right? Now, mobile banking is one of another component that we are so much stuck with it that for purchasing anything, we get some points and we accumulate that point again. Then there are a lot of rewards, there are a lot of discount things going on. Everything is so much gamified, right? So much gamified around us, or within our this thing, within our applications and stuff like that. Just like apps may include features like saving challenges, you have saved this much, and stuff like that. But end of the day, who's earning the money is like the wallet, or the financial institution are getting all the benefit, right? But we are addicted to the application on how they are introducing game based elements in our everyday use applications. Now, I would like to put a question for us all. You can write in chat, what is the biggest gamification apps we think, as of my deliverables, what's the biggest gamification apps we think we use every day? I'd like to give 15 seconds for us all to write down in chat. We use gamification app every day. So
One of the
Instagram,
fastest answer is Instagram,
PlayFit
Facebook.
app, Paytm.
yes, Amit sir, let them write in chat. We'll
Yeah.
collect it. Okay. Yes, your time starts now, and I would request all of us to please write down what do you think. Yeah, Instagram. Oh, wow, Instagram is literally famous. Right? WhatsApp, yeah, Paytm, World Puzzle, GPay, yes, why not? Duolingo, yeah, Kahoot, PhonePay, wow, WhatsApp, yeah, PhonePay, GPay, Instagram, Padlet, GPay. Yes, thank you, everyone. So, the application that we use every day that has a lot of gamification component is, like you have suggested, it's social media. So in social media, they have got so much of gamification components and the elements that we are literally attached to it, right? So I'll try to define it in our next slides, or how these things are working. So next addictive gamification apps that we use each day is ride sharing apps for us, like in, let's say, in Uber or in Drive or Patal. We have Patal in Nepal. So in Drive, Uber, we actually try to call a driver to take us from a point and drop us in a point. But the application itself is so much gamified that even after booking a ride, we'll be watching inside the app where the car has reached, whether the driver is available or not, whether we are paying the right fee or not, whether there is a chances of cancellations. So these things are so much built up and gamified in factor that we are addicted and we are just opening the app and we are just looking at it, right? So now let's see how I think many of us have seen or watched this video, but I would like to put this video in front of you to understand how the world is embracing gamification, or how the world is trying to teach what gamification is. Okay.
Gamification, by definition, is the use of game design and mechanics to enhance non-game contexts. After all, people currently spend 3 billion hours a week playing video and computer games. From an educational context, incorporating game elements into lesson plans to motivate students and make learning enjoyable is hardly new. But as gaming technology grew more sophisticated, there came the introduction of serious games based on strategy, time management, and role-playing elements, further enhancing the potential offered by gamification. Gamification focuses on extracting the underlying principles of games and asking whether an education experience can be reconfigured to build on those principles. A successful gamification program will use 4 freedoms of play. The freedom to fail, allowing mistakes to be made with little consequence. The freedom to experiment, allowing players to explore and discover new strategies and pieces of information. The freedom to assume different identities, encouraging players to see problems from a different perspective. And the freedom of effort, with games that allow players to go through periods of intense activity and relative inactivity. In 2009, the New York City-based Institute of Play established 2 fully gamified high schools under the principles of gamification. For many classes, the activities are not internet-enabled, but involve role-playing and classroom exercises. Gamification is not a universal panacea. It is vital to ensure that students are not isolated by the technology, nor do they tumble into the pitfall of expecting immediate rewards for their efforts, but instead find value in learning itself. If gamification is to provide value to schools, projects must be carefully designed to address valid challenges for the schools, focusing on specific areas where gamification can provide the maximum value. The programs must be designed to suit the objectives of the classroom, working with an existing curriculum, rather than introducing an entirely new activity, which may be beyond the students' capabilities. The system requires a strong commitment of both time and money, with administrative support beyond the first attempt to take gamification from a trial concept to a platform, and subsequently refining it. The right mechanisms should be chosen for the class, targeting the right students, which often is the most challenging element. In tandem with the creation of gamified projects, meaningful assessments of whether they are achieving their aims must be developed. The combination of an increased focus on student engagement and the possibilities provided by digital learning make gamification a powerful tool for educators. However, it is a tool that must be implemented carefully. Ultimately, gamification should make learning fun rather than sugarcoating what could be seen as a bitter but necessary experience.
Sorry about that. Okay, so now let's enter into the core of gamification. We have talked about gamification and what gamification is. So there is a statement made by Kai Chow, the person who made the framework for gamification in 2015. So he writes that a design approach centered around human motivation takes elements from games, applies them to real-world activities, and octalysis emphasize human-focused design instead of mere functionality, optimizing human motivation and engagement within a system. So a lot of humans are involved in making sure how gamification works. Now, if we look into the octalysis by Mr. Chow, we can see that gamification is not only about introducing the application itself. There are a lot of applications that claim that they have the best gamification components, but to understand gamification, we have to understand why we need to gamify our subject context, right? Let's say if we look into the framework presented by Mr. Chow, we can see the meaning the accomplishment, empowerment, ownership, social influence, scarcity, unpredictability, and avoidance. Right. So all of these components combinedly gives us or makes us design our subject context gamification content, right? So yes, definitely I would be requesting Mr. Amit to share all the things or the slides with you all. Thank you. And when asked a question, if there are apps that we can use as gamification, yes, there are thousands of apps. Quite popular one are Kahoot, Classcraft, Quizlet. You know, we all have used Kahoot. I guess it has a very good gamification designs that we can incorporate in our own subject. Classcraft is like is like a modern days game where they have taken care of all gamification component for our subject. And Quizlet, a gamification tool that allows teachers to create flashcards, right? So all of these things are tools, they are not contents. So what are the contents? We as an educator and our methodology to teach and what we develop to deliver our student is the content. So when to use what application to do what would make much more sense understanding gamifications, right? So using an app, not possible to gamify, but using an app with your requirement and making sure your own context of teaching and pedagogy practices has that addictive gamification elements would make much more sense, right? So let's talk about core elements. So what is the element of gamification, right? So when we define point bases and leaderboard, we actually create a gamification platform. We have seen this, right? It doesn't has always has to be digital, in my opinion. So we have all the leaderboard in our classrooms, all the reward with all the stars, 5 star, 4 stars for the students, maybe primary level, maybe secondary level students, and what their achievement in attendance and stuff like that, right? We all have done that. So those are the elements of gamifications which make sure their competitiveness and their learning is in growing phase. Sorry. As they grow, they get more points. As they get more points, they are rewarded with a staging of anything you feel like giving them stars or giving them crowns or anything like that. Then sorry, another one is leaderboard, right? So leaderboard is the final place where we see all the points, all the rewards, and all everything is, we put in a table. So gamification concept teaches us or tells us that it doesn't has to be a technical, IT friendly applications only. It can be anything that is related with the chat, or developing a table within a classroom or anything. Yes, feedback, attendance, stuff like that. Yes. Sorry. Now, if we look into the example, there is a learning app called Duolingo. I think we all are aware of Duolingo, right? So what Duolingo does is it sets a small objective or goal. When we finish it, then it rewards us with some points, and if we accumulate more points, we'll get reward. End of the day, Duolingo would publish a scoreboard for us, just like our mark sheets, right? Now, this, I think, is the core of gamification in understanding the game mechanics, how gamification works actually. So if only introducing application is not working, only developing the chat papers is not working, but what we need to define in our course is quest, challenges, and rewards. So these are the three very, very crucial components that we need to develop in our own teaching methodology. Let's say we are teaching social science and we are teaching what is Diwali, right? So if in learning of a student, we set a quest that student will learn a paragraph and we will put in a bit of difficult words within them, that becomes the challenges. If they pronounce it well or understand it well, then we will reward them with anything you think favorable. So even in designing a paragraph, if we can introduce the game mechanics, is what we might get students to engage in their subject and learning. So definitely gamification doesn't only talks about applications, but it talks about the elements why they are so much attracted or attached to game is because their design is set such that if we can just extract those components and put in our teaching methodology, that would make our learning much more better. So quest, challenges, and reward. And I would request all educators to understand or develop the right ones in your subject context. May that be Hindi, may that be Marathi, may that be English or science or social science, mathematics. Design a quest, put in some challenges in there, and reward them for doing the best thing. So if we can structure that, and if you think nothing is coming in our head, then we can definitely look for any IT or ICT tools that can help us guide us through that way, right? Now, yep, integration tips. So how we can introduce gamifications within our context of subject is, or defining the strategies of gamification element or mechanics, is emphasizing the importance of elements with learning objectives. So we have to set the learning objectives for everything we do before introducing gamifications. So for example, integrating a leaderboard to showcase a student's progress in mastering math concepts, creating friendly competitions. So it only talks about concepts and not about only about solving the problem, right? Okay, so yeah, and one of the things that I think we all have to be mindful is how to design effective curriculum or content also depends, because when we gamify or when we try to introduce gamification within our teaching learning practices, we should be mindful about their physical or psychological aspect on rewarding them. It should not be that only the first, whoever comes in first is like consecutive first girl or boy in a class who are hitting the milestone every time. So what about rest? So rest of the student might think that not doing anything is my reward. So keeping in mind that the dopamine dance in our brain that triggers our boosting motivation factor, the dopamine factor, has to be there for even the non-achievers of gamification elements, as well as intrinsic connection where student need to connect with the values or the rewards that has been given in gamifications, rewards and points and anything. So now, yep, I've got quite a few examples on how we can incorporate things in mathematics, or how we can develop, such gamification components within our subject. But saying that this is not the perfect way, or this is not the only way, as we all are expert in our subjects, so we have to find out a better way because we understand our student better than anyone else, right? So there is a way of introducing gamification in language and arts or math or science, social studies, and yeah, any subject we teach. So implementation tips, definitely yes. So we have to be mindful that it has to innovate, iterate, and it has to give a positive feedback to all the students in their learning. So encouraging their collaboration with their peers, as well as celebrating their achievements. Then maybe providing a central platform or app. Maybe here we can bring in the applications part of it or technology part in it, right? So it depends on how we would like to introduce gamification concept and things in that classroom for a set of lesson or for a set of our concept to be delivered to the students, right? And yes, I can see a lot of Minecraft for education. Yes, all of the comments. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Uh, so yes, Roblox, Minecraft, these games are collaborative games, educational games, and I would suggest everyone to sign up for Roblox and Minecraft. Get in there, bring your students inside those games, and try to define your context. Any subject that you teach has to be inside Roblox, not only giving them the direction of going and doing something in Roblox, what I suggest. And definitely, yes, I do play Roblox and I bring my student in Roblox, and I have defined certain components for my student to learn within that Roblox environment. But saying that, no, not only IT, not only apps, we can do that with our paper or no paper based classroom, right? So it depends on us. We have to understand game, the structure, the elements, and what are the quests, what are the challenges, and what are the rewards we're trying to put in and give it to a student so that they find it interesting, and the set of goals that they think is achievable. So that's how the learning happens, right? Yep, online tools, just an example. Google Classroom, as we all have seen, we can create our own Google Classroom where we can put in point tracker, badges, avatars, quests, and challenges, develop it, design it, let the student engage and record their learning outcome. Whereas offline tool can be leaderboard posters that we change every week. It doesn't has to be, single leaderboard. Every time we go to class, we see the same. Maybe we can change it as per our need. The progress chart, yes, badge showcase, and in few schools we have seen that the clippers, the clippers that we use to hang clothes, they are using clippers to write down names and moving the clippers like agile project management things within classroom setup. They have got a long thread, they have got a lot of clippers, there is a name in the clippers. So yeah, and anything that engages a student or anything that is provided to us can become the the hardwares for designing game-based education. And yes, if we talk about technological tools, there are a lot of tools. Few of the tools I've listed: Breakout EDU, Classcraft, Minecraft for education, and now there is something called augmented reality and virtual reality, where we don't have to be present at that point, but we can bring the visual to the classroom, like Google Earth. There's something called Merge Cube, and Google Art and Craft, which itself is like University of Knowledge. Google My Maps, where we can actually give them the real world scenario and teach them in maps, street view, pinning the map, and stuff like that. Then another is Roblox for education. Like I said, So these are all the components, or these are all the tools, the technological tools that I think the gist of gamification is understanding the game component, and it's nothing to do with using an application. If we think we are better, we are doing better, students are learning better without introducing any app, but introducing gaming component or elements in our everyday teaching, fantastic. Let's not bring in any technology. But if we feel, oh, technology is engaging more students, then let's bring the technology things inside classroom. So that would be my opinion. Yep. So that would be my end of the slide. And thank you so very much for patiently and interacting with me. I really appreciate your time and questions and chats. So, yeah, thank you. Now we can open the discussion, sir. Anything?
Okay, that's great. So I've turned on their microphone and may request if you have any question. So kindly please feel free to ask. But I have one question before anyone starts. So there is one question actually in the registration form. One of the educator asked, uh, could you share a success story or example where gamification significantly improved the learning experience for students? If you can cater to one of the specific example, that would be great.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you. That's a fantastic question. Thank you so very much. Or I might have missed it in my slides. The one of the success story is we did a small pilot for the students of Tibetan refugee camp. They are very weak with the accessibility and stuff like that, the hardwares and internet. So we did a trial to 200 Tibetan refugee students from high altitude Himalayas, and we taught them something called Scratch, the basic coding platform Scratch. So we introduced critical thinking, communication, and collaboration while teaching Scratch. We did around 14 hours of their classes. Then we left them with their set of objective to understand the lesson. So our objective was to make sure they have to identify which is the hardest subject or the lesson they find, and how they can solve it using Scratch. After we did our 14 hours workshop, we found out that few of the students group up to build and Scratch application for grade 1 student of Tibetan community schools in learning the phonetics, or we call it Kakhara, Kakha Gagha, ABCD for first grade student. We only taught them it can be incorporated in your learning. We never taught them you have to develop a game for the child. And the better case study came up, like when they team up to build that Kakara system to grade 1 student, they didn't work solely on code. There was one girl who was working for the background graphics. There was one girl working as a voice narrative. There were two boys working on the coding, and there was one boy who was managing everything up to make sure the grade 1 student understand the storyboard. So they did everything themselves. So this
That's
is
more of the
the,
experiential learning.
yes, and we just did was we tried to uh, connect the dots or the gamification component within their learning practices, but they came up with this brilliant idea. So yeah, I think that would be the success story to share with you all.
Wonderful, wonderful. So there is one more question. Can we have rubrics for evaluation of gamification?
Yes, ma'am, it depends. Like we can develop a rubrics for point system, and rubrics that gives us better ideation on rewarding the student, again keeping in mind their psychological impact on rewards. So definitely a rubrics for a small set of goal, maybe a lesson rubrics. So every time the rubrics changes according to how we introduce the quest, the challenges, the points, the bases. So yeah, definitely we can.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Any other questions, sir?
Yeah,
Um,
microphone is on. Now you can hand. I could see a lot of hand raised. So, Samriddhi ji, Natasha ji, if you are still here and any question, open question, please feel free to ask. Sharmila ji, Gracie ji, Pratiksha ji, Roshni ji, Rajendra ji, or anyone. Okay, Rana, Hima, I could read that
Uh,
only. Yeah, please carry on. Rita ji.
Thank you, sir, for giving me such a
Hello.
wonderful session.
Yeah.
It was really amazing, sir.
Okay. All credit goes to Mr. Sagun. Wonderfully presented. Yeah, and a lot of
Excuse
ideas.
me, excuse me,
Yeah,
sir.
because one of the say specifically
Hello.
someone if
Am I
expecting
audible?
you are going to teach about say at, yeah, please carry on, Mukesh ji.
Sir, I just want to know more about the rewards. Sir has also pointed out rewards in between. Which type of rewards actually he is expecting in these gamifications? Are these points something or some sort of another like chocolate for the primary classes or something else? What?
Yes,
Thank
Mukesh
you.
sir. Thank you for the question. Yeah, reward can be anything. Like we know the classroom nicely, so maybe we can give chocolates. Well, not recommended, but yes, definitely why not? Or we can make a crown. Yes, or maybe for middle school or senior school, we have developed or we have seen some teachers giving hugs. So anything that encourages student to do better is what we think is reward. So definitely reward can be anything that comes in, maybe in form of chocolate, in form of hugs, in form of dinner with the student, in form of lunch with the student. So anything you define it and if students are encouraged, why not, sir? Give it a go.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. This is Hima Rana speaking. I want to say that today's session was really very much fruitful. But as you are very much aware that nowadays we are having offline classes, right? So it's my request from my side that now next session, if you will conduct related to various offline games that we can conduct in classroom, है ना? Then it will be more means useful to me.
Sure,
So
ma'am. Looking forward.
indirectly you are
Yes.
saying I need to invite Mr. Sagun to India. Please, sir, most welcome to Delhi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the question. Definitely, I would again like to reiterate that gamification is a very, very new concept. So there is no definite binary answers that says yes or no. We can do it or not. So this is an ongoing application that we have to imply in classroom. So online, offline tools also, like ma'am has pointed out, let's try it out. Let's try to understand the game, why it's attracting so much of brain. If we get that, and we can put those context in learning. So yes, definitely. And yeah, thanks for inviting, Mr. Bajaz.
Any other question? Someone is asking about the certification. Please fill in the feedback form, which is already being shared many a times in the chat box. So you'll receive your feedback certificate directly in your inbox, your email. So please enter your email correctly because it's all gamified. You can say. I mean, I'm not preparing the certificates manually.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
how can we teach grammar through gamification through mind map?
Yes, Sila ma'am, I would recommend that mind map is another methodology or concept. So grammar is something maybe you are very good at. Mind map. So in how, if you could look into the the technology tools like Duolingo or Read Along is very good, like gamified content. So if you can look into those things and try to connect the dots, how things are happening and how they are solving the quest and the challenges, maybe that might be a breakthrough in developing a mind map, ma'am. There is no solid answer. Like I said, there is no binary answer. We need to try to find out whether the student understand it or not. So that would be my suggestion, to please look into Duolingo and Read Along like application. Look into their flow of work, the algorithm they use, flow of work, and try to identify the quest, the challenges, and the rewards, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I'm Shaila Albert from Indian School, Bausha, Oman.
Nice.
Sir, there is one more question from Mr. Himanshu Yadav. He wants to know how to develop games for maths for our current curriculum, and he's also interested to know any particular tool or website or edtech firm which might be useful to develop games.
Oh, developing games. Okay. If we are looking into IT perspective or developing the games, then I would suggest please start from Roblox. It's downloadable, free, open source. So once we please go through all the YouTube manuals on how to get into Roblox or how to use the tools in Roblox. Actually, what we can do is we can create a scenario just like our classrooms. So once we understand the concept, then we can move into platforms like Unity, which provides more 3D or more profound platforms, IT platforms to develop games. And there are other thousand tools that we can do, sir. So please start from very small. Maybe Minecraft for education or Roblox for education would be the best place to start developing a game. Thank you.
Sir, so RPLX.
Amit sir, you're not audible. Your
Oh,
voice.
sorry.
Yeah.
Is it the correct website? Roblox. Are you referring to this, Mr. Sagun?
Yes, sir. It is Roblox for
Okay.
yeah. I'm sharing the slides with you, Amit sir. So I
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I think that would be the best option to share it with all the participants, if that's all right
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Definitely, we'll be sharing one email. Thank you email to
That
them.
would be great,
All
sir.
the links.
Yes.
Any other questions? Any other query? Yes, Mauni ma'am, you raise your hands.
So I think there is no open question and
Uh,
any query. But
Good
yes,
evening.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
Can
evening,
we,
please.
sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
Himanshu sir.
can we
Yes.
teach a poem through gamification?
I didn't get that, Miss Albert.
Can we teach poem through gamification?
Uh,
Literature poems.
Literature poems, right, ma'am. Well, I think. I'm not sure, ma'am. To be honest, I don't know if my answer would satisfy your expertise. You are the expert in your subject, so I would suggest please please structure or make a mind map of how they can understand, and please share it with all of us, maybe with me as well, so that I can give you the best answer in my opinion, ma'am. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you for answering my previous question. So, I just want to add some more points. I just want to ask from you. So, what do you think that, like the current trend, like the digital transformation, is there a possibility that our entire mathematics curriculum will be digitally transformed? Like right now, we are using technology as an aid, right, in our classrooms. So, is there a possibility that slowly, by like entire mathematics NCRT or any other textbook, state book, will be converted to that online story mode scenario and all? I'm doing R&D in this only. I'm very much keen in making like comics or something like that for mathematics, but I don't have any connections and any resources for that. whom to connect to. What was the objective of mine to connect to this webinar. So
Yep, Himanshu sir, thank you so very much. This is a very big question you have asked me. I would recommend few of the articles that has been published by the Harvard University on how they are teaching CS50, CS50. That's entirely taught by AI, and that teaches coding. So coding does have mathematics component in it. So I would recommend just see some videos on how Harvard is. I think it's Harvard or Oxford. Harvard, yeah. So CS50 is a curriculum or a course for bachelor's in computer science. That particular course is being taught by AI. So if you see those research papers and how they have structured that classroom, then you might get an idea of how future mathematics is going to happen. As well, sir, I would add that students are actually learning from different resources. They don't even have to come to schools. We have seen a lot of university dropouts doing fantastic in financial technology or anywhere they go. So learning is happening everywhere and anywhere, and how to automate that and make sure that we are finding the right student to learn our objective would be more challenging than how the automations of the subject might soak in the classroom maybe. So the future challenge I see is, are we complying or are we in the same race with AI and all this technology stuff, so that we are giving the right knowledge or the knowledge actually our students are seeking inside the classroom. So definitely saying that, yeah, near future we are seeing automated mathematics classroom. Why not? Why not? Definitely it will come. So maybe the maths teacher need to be more innovative on what next for the students. So yeah, that's a good discussion. Thank you. Thank you, Yadav sir. Thank you for putting
thank
such a
you.
beautiful question.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know, I'm K Jaya. I basically teach geography and social science, of course. So, I mean, my query is regarding children often have a lot of problem in doing map locations. Though we are using Kahoot and other platforms for a lot of quizzes and puzzles, and I'm sure a lot of us who are belonging to the social science faculty will have this problem as a challenge, that children lose interest in map pointing. Could you suggest any platform which will help us to play actually a virtual quiz? I mean, I do it in a physical manner playing the dart game. Um, so my query is that if you could suggest any platform where we can teach map marking or map pointing using a platform.
Yes, Jaya ma'am. Maths for learning mathematics or teaching mathematics, there are tons of gamification applications available around us. But what I would like to take a challenge is like, would that be possible if you can create something in we call it Google My Maps. So teaching mathematical journey from Google My Maps has shown more engagement for students. So one of those million apps that we think has worked out to our student is, one is a Scratch, obviously the coding platform, and another one is Google My Maps. But we have to be creative. The teachers have to be creative in developing our own content and mapping it out, ma'am. So yeah, I would suggest the same, ma'am. And if you find something wonderful, please let us know so that we can learn as well.
So I am actually working at it. I mean, I have been closely associated with NCRT, and I think we've met.
Yes.
So that is the reason that I know you very well.
Thank you, ma'am.
So this is why I asked you this question. because
Okay.
NCRT, this has been my struggle there also. Like, creating maze or mind maps, etc. We are doing it already. So I thought that with your skills and expertise, I'm sure with Amit sir being there, it can be a deadly combination of maths and maps.
May I add something, Shamsar?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Can I
yes,
add
yes,
something?
yes, ma'am.
Right
yes,
now,
ma'am.
we
Please.
have Jamboard till December 24. You can use Jamboard for this purpose. You can just
Yes, ma'am.
pick up a blank
Meena
map.
ma'am, I haven't forgotten you. Meena ma'am, I have seen you. I have not forgotten you. And thank you for being teaching us so many skills, and using this platform for a different reason.
But right now, you are asking for map. That's why I'm saying you can use right now that. And later on, I think Figma is
Sigma.
coming for that.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, we have the best heads together here with Matthew sir, Amit sir, you, and Sagun sir. So, I think it can be a deadly combination. So, let's all get together and put our heads together.
Amit sir has already welcomed Shagun sir. Hopefully,
Yeah,
Shagun
Yes,
yeah,
will
yeah.
come soon.
Definitely love to meet
Yes,
physically in
yes,
Delhi or
definitely.
wherever it's
Thank
yes,
you.
convenient.
yes.
Appreciate those sweet words, Jam, and I really
Thank,
appreciate your words. Thank you.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful session to the team.
Yeah, thank you
Thank,
so much, Jaya ma'am. I'd
thank you,
love to
ma'am.
connect it with you, later after this session as well.
Good evening, sir. I would like to ask something. Sir, can you suggest? Actually, I joined little late, so can you share the recording also with us? And
Yeah, yeah, the recording will be shared with you. You must have submitted your feedback form.
yes,
You
I
must have
did.
received your certificate. So please wait for a while, maybe by tomorrow. All the resources we are compiling the presentation as Sagun sir will sharing with us. So everything will be shared with you by tomorrow. No worries.
Hello,
Okay,
sir.
and
Amit
I
sir.
wanted to know,
Hello.
like any
Hello.
gamification can be used for teaching English, sir. Any site?
Yeah, Sagun sir has already talked about this, but yes, if he may like to add on something.
No, 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 definitely, sir. Let's start from the scratch, ma'am. I know we're not late to start anything, but let's start from the scratch, from very base level. So I would request all the educators that we are not introducing any apps, and we're not talking about apps. Rather, let's talk about how we can pick the component of games by even watching how children are playing pebbles in gullies, say, and try to pick up those components and bring it to classroom, because tools and applications confuses us at times. So I think today's session we focused much more on picking up the gamification element from those pebble games or badmintons, and how we can introduce that in classrooms. So application, we can do it on the second phase, third phase. So I would suggest that, ma'am. Thank you for the question.
Thank you,
Just
thank you, sir.
I would like to add here. Basically, I think you are asking for offline gamifications, and I
Ex-
have used Ludo dice
Yes,
many
sir.
times.
Please explain, sir. Please explain.
Ludo dice we have used uh, in addition of a two-digit number, how we can carry forward, or in subtraction, how we can use Ludo dice, in which we are using sticks to bundle and unbundle.
Okay, sir.
And it's an
Anything, any expert
okay.
is there for English? Please, I would like to ask. Teaching English. All are from mathematics, right?
Ravinder ma'am, I am a maths teacher, but there is a tool Sementris, SEMAN. I have already shared the link also. It's a wonderful tool for teaching language skills. So
Okay.
I have already, I'll just share it one more time.
Yes, please do, ma'am.
I am sharing it in the chat box again. So
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
a great tool for learning English, and then there is a tool Word Wall, which is a wonderful tool for all subjects. And like you're talking about grammar and English language, so this Word Wall is also a great tool where you can make crossword puzzles. Word search puzzles is also a tool. I am just sharing that 3 or 4 websites which will be useful for you. So you just
Right,
give me,
ma'am.
yes.
Please do so. That will be a great help.
I would like to share one game, ma'am, that we use in our class, and it is across different subjects. So we have modified Tambola. So our
Yes.
questions are with us, and the answers go in different formats on the slip. So
Yes, ma'am.
whichever is the
Yes.
correct answer, they just cross it out.
Right. For the words also and for the for sentences also.
Yes, yes. And even one thing that we played with kids in English very recently was about tenses and the correct form.
Okay. Okay. That also you did with Tambola only. Hello, ma'am. Hello, Akansha, ma'am. It is.
The chat box and can later connect it to each other. So that would be great.
Okay.
Akanksha ji, Ravinder ji, you can share your email ID and cross exchange in the chat box, and you can stay connected later on. So the conversation can take place even after this session. That's very, very important. Sometimes it happens we attend the session and then bye bye and forget everything. But that's really nice to see. We have crossed 12 to 13 minutes after this session, and even I could see more than 200 educators are still willing to learn something new and interesting. That's really wonderful. That's the power of joint venture by India and Nepal.
See what happens. It really happens once in a while that somebody is there to give you so much. That is the thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and such minds all together, we really find something new which we have already done, or maybe we are learning for the first time.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Or the-
Amit sir,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think we should formally end the session and later on we can have these.
Yeah, yeah, exactly true. Yeah.
Yes,
So you can actually do the formal vote of thanks. Remember?
yes, yes.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you, Mr. Shagun, for such an enriching session. And there were so many points which really, were mind-boggling. And one thing which stuck to me is that when you said using an app is not gamification, rather using your own context of teaching and our pedagogy practices is, it is gamification. So sometimes what happens is we keep searching for so many apps, and at the end of the day we get confused. So it's the our context of teaching and our own practices and our own touch of here. So this point particularly stuck to me, and thank you for such an enriching session, and we learned a lot. And I'm sure that about gamification, we got into the science of gamification, that how actually it helps making learning more engaging, because when students are engaged and they are interested, I think that's where the learning takes place. So thank you, sir. And thank you on behalf of entire GEG team Delhi West. And as everybody said, you are most welcome to here, and we
Thank
will
you.
love to meet you physically.
Appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I
Yeah.
really appreciate all of your time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sagun. And Sagun sir has already shared the method. You can connect with him directly via LinkedIn. So you can check that out. Sagun sir, can you please share that once again? Those who want to get connected with you directly. I have seen that somewhere in the chat only.
He has shared again.
Okay, that's
You
great.
should
That's
also.
great. Yeah. So, Meena ma'am, anything would you like to add?
No, sir. All
Okay.
over. Very well said.
Chalo, chalo. Shagun sir, thank you so much. Really, it was a
Shagun sir,
wonderful
thank you.
experience,
Thank you.
and it will
Thank
continue. It's not the end; it's just a beginning. We are hoping to have a similar session, and now maybe focused specifically on the one or the
Game.
other tool,
A two.
and maybe related to the subject, because you are from the engineering background. You have a lot of experience, so we'd really love to gain from your experience about some specific tools and applications. Thank you
Sir,
very much.
I can just add one thing. Sagun
Yeah,
sir,
yeah.
if you can give some apps and sites link, we can share in the email with all of them.
Oh, yes, sure. I'll just accumulate all the things I have got, ma'am. Sure, I'll do
We
that.
will
Yeah.
combine this also, and we will ask you.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining
Thank you,
in.
everyone.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you,
Jai
everyone.
Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit sir.
Thank
Happy
you, sir.
Lodi
Yeah,
to all.
thank